Hello, it's been another big week of football in WA. The road to championship glory for Perth is one step closer. After thumping Melbourne Heart last weekend, the Glory now has to battle against Wellington Pheonix in this weekend's minor semi-final. It's another home fixture for Perth, but all the focus is on Shane Smeltz. He scored 7 goals in 2 matches. Can he continue his scintillating form against his old club? We asked the man himself.
When a streak comes, it's you just sort of go with it. So it's certainly there at the moment, and it's as I've said before, it's great timing. It's one of them periods where everything's sort of going in. But as I said, it's great for myself, it's great for the team, and we're building some good momentum in this final series now. A few weeks ago, I visualised us playing against the Phoenix, to be honest. So yeah, it's going to be nice. There's going to be some emotion there, I think, playing against old club, and I'm looking forward to stepping it up again next week.
Tony Sage will be pleased with the Glory's progress so far. After owning the franchise for many years with little reward, Football 360 asked him why he's still stuck at it.
I was a fan first, everyone knows that. I went with my family, ethnically based. My wife's Portuguese and all her family are mad football. I'm from England, lived in Italy for a while, so I'm mad football as well. And when I found out that the team was going to be lost to Western Australia, I put my hand up. Obviously it was an enormous task, so I had to bring in a couple of partners. But that's the reason I did. I did not want to leave football at the highest level, leave the state. To put it into perspective, in the 4 and a bit years that I've been involved, we've sunk $27 million into Perth Glory for a return of about $18 million. So that's between $9 and $10 million of that is just straight out losses. So it would have been easy for me to walk away if I wasn't passionate about the game. So no, I am passionate about the game. I want to stay there as long as I can. Out of all the businesses though, the most frustrating is football, because you've got 90 minutes where you can't do anything or control anything. In every other part of my business life, I can control it. I can make a decision to stop something happening or doing, but for 90 minutes, it's up to the players on the pitch, and that's what I suppose gives me a buzz. I can't control it, and I can actually get frustrated, and I can actually get mad, angry, whatever, all these emotions come out. But in business, you basically control what you're doing. It does bring the family closer together. They've embraced it. We do go to virtually all the games together, and it is something that we can have a cohesive family life around it.
Steve McMahon was in charge of Perth Glory in the lead-up to the launch of the A-League, but he left in a storm of controversy. The former Liverpool and England star was back in Perth this week as part of his new venture with a Singapore reality TV show. Football 360 caught up with him and asked him what went wrong during his tenure with Perth all those years ago.
I spent 5 months here before we actually kicked the ball, so I had to train the lads for 5 months without any games. They weren't ready for a European coach, I must say. I've just seen Ian Ferguson and I know Ian very well. The training's very similar to what I would do. The thing is, they can accept that now. When I was manager, they couldn't accept that, especially the local players. It's the laid-back attitude for some of the players, and lovely sunshine, isn't it lovely in Perth and stuff. But we wanted that killer instinct, discipline is important, and that's what I wanted from the players, is to turn up on time. In fact, half an hour before you should do. Get yourself prepared. And it was just a stroll, and I wanted it to be really important to the players, and I wanted to drum that home to them, how important it is. Hi there, I'm Steve McMahon, ex-Liverpool and England footballer, and you're watching Football 360.
Well, here at Perth Glory, we thought we'd practice some of the things that make QBE great, like 125 years of experience. We trialled a new fraud replacement policy.
Can I have
Thanks, Baz.
And comprehensive cover? Well, that seemed like a pretty good idea too. Turns out, what's great for your insurance, not so good for football.
QBE. See how competitive we are with your insurance.
The National Training Centre is a Football West program aimed at unearthing and developing the next top-level player. Football 360 takes an inside look at what it takes to be the best of the best.
I think for us, the NTC is just a real elite development programme, but more for the individual. It's not team orientated, it's purely based for the individual to get better tactically, technically, mentally, emotionally, and to cover lifestyle issues. So it's a real holistic approach to trying to develop individual footballers. In 5 years, we've got 20 players that have gone professional contracts throughout the world. We've got lads at Bayern Munich, lads at Liverpool. There's guys who've been in the programme and gone and signed for Premier League clubs in England. We've lads who are playing in Italy. From that perspective and producing players, we're doing very, very well. But it's more than that, it's about producing good people as well, so we've got a twofold responsibility. We have open trials, people come, but also we go around to games and speak with people and watch people, and we invite people in. So we've got a lot of refugee boys in. We've got a little standing joke that a couple of the refugee boys are scouts for us. And they'll turn up with, we had one the other week, turn up with 5 people in the car. Kenny, I've got some more players for you. Yeah, come and play. And from that, we find players, you know. I mean, there's a lot of guys with huge potential. I think I'm always loath to put names on people, but Dan De Silva is, you know, recognised as possibly a decent player. He's only 15, 16 at the moment. There's a lot of barriers and hoops for him to jump through. Jack Idale is a super player. He's also Australian judo champion, and he's gone to World Championships, so he's got other things going on.
Over the last 4 years, I've been doing the NYL Perth Glory youth team, and combining that, I come down and take a team in the NTC. I just think it's an important link that the club needs. I keep an eye on some of the good young talent that's coming through, and it's important, you know, that the connection between us and the NTC is fluid, because that's where the FFA identify, you know, national team players. Results with the amount of people that Kenny's identified reflects how good the program is.
From a development perspective, we're top of the tree in the country. Our focus is to produce players and play a certain brand of football, but the way it's going is that we're playing a certain way and producing players and winning, which is a superb testament to the players and the coaches involved in the program. We want to play like the best teams, and that's our philosophy. Play a passing, entertaining brand of football.
After cracking the top 10 in the rankings, the Matildas' next goal is to win the World Cup. National coach Tom Sermanni has returned to the fold for the 4th time and took some time out in Perth to take a close eye on some young up-and-comers.
Becoming a sport of choice amongst girls. If you look here today, you know, with the Celtic shirts, there's Liverpool shirts, there's Barcelona shirts. So it's not just the fact that it's a sport of choice, but it's also a culture coming into the game amongst the female players, and that bodes really well for the future. I just think it's, you know, girls have discovered it's a great sport to play. You know, you can be any size, any shape, and it's also a sport where, you know, you're involved in the game all the time. You don't have to stand around. So it's a terrific sport for young girls to play.
The W League, it's been around for a few seasons now. Has that been a critical factor?
Very much so. It's been an enormous success. We've just finished season 4, and each year, you know, it gets stronger and better on the field. The profile's getting raised. It's given opportunities for players to get in the national team. It's even given us international recognition by the number of players that actually want to come here and play in the league. So it's been a huge benefit for the game overall.
Let's talk Matildas. How far away, realistically, is Australia from clinching a World Cup campaign?
We're in the mix when it comes to playing games. We've got a philosophy around our team now, and a very ambitious group of players that when we go out onto a football field, we want to win games. We want to have players that are dynamic, we want to have players that are technically gifted, we want to have players that are exciting to watch. You know, the Sam Kerrs of this world, who have got pace, who can dribble, who can change games. We can keep developing the great young talent that we've got here. You know, I'm confident that we'll be in the mix to do very well.
In the 24th minute, Callum Roberts was robbed of possession by Ryan Clark, chasing back. He looked up, played a short pass to James Samet, who lifted the ball over the Knights' defence and into the path of Al Jovic, who slid it under the advancing Miller to give Inglewood the lead. In the 79th minute, they did eke out a second. Clark played the ball off the legs of Callum O'Connell before heading to the byline. He pulled the ball back and picked out the unmarked Jovic, who headed home his team's and his second. the Knights kept pushing for a goal, and in the dying minutes Callum Roberts unleashed a wonderful shot that had Alex Sutton at full stretch to save.
Right, next week it's Armidale. How are you going to approach that one?
Look, it's a funny one because both coaches in the under-18 coach going on the I-League license on Sunday, actually tomorrow. So we will leave something with Michael Garcia, who is also qualified coach, to take the first team, and nothing will change. Nothing will change. We will play out from the back, and we will construct the attacks from the back. So, you know, I don't think anybody that is going to be in the charge of the first team, it's nothing's going to change. We're just going to play exactly the same way that we did with Normo in charge, or myself, or anybody else.
In other news, WA's Paralympic squad held its final training camp before jetting off to Queensland. The team will compete in the National Championships in Rockhampton. We wish our Paralympic team all the best. More than a dozen under-12 teams battled for bragging rights in the West End Concrete Alliance Cup, but there can only be one, ECU taking out top honours after knocking Perth over 3-2. And with the Perth Glory final at 5:30 this Saturday, many matches in this week's All Flag State League have been brought forward, so remember to check footballwest.com.au for the latest fixtures. And that brings us to the end of another busy but exciting episode of Football 360. Remember to drop us a line and tell us what your football story is. Good luck to the Perth Glory this weekend, and we'll catch you again next week. Bye for now.